Got it.
Okay. Hi, Godsway.
Hello.
Um, so I met you because back in June of 2022, I think Elizabeth, my ex-coworker, was visiting you in Ghana.
That's true.
Yeah, so she had posted something on LinkedIn, and honestly, I was just really impressed by you, by everything that you were doing for the kids in your community. And so I just wanted to like connect with you on LinkedIn and say hi because I was looking from my own perspective at volunteer opportunities for myself.
Yes. Yes.
So we've known each other a year and a half.
That was our initial conversation. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
When
Um,
volunteering with me.
yeah. And I mean, honestly, you felt like a friend from the very beginning. Even our first conversation, like we got very uh vulnerable and emotionally available with each other. So yeah, I'm grateful that you're my friend.
I am too. So it's been a year plus. Yes, we've kept in touch on and off sometimes, but yes, I appreciate the time you take and speak to me wherever you can.
Yeah, there were a couple surgeries sprinkled in there. But anyway, so
To
yeah,
see
so
your learn.
it
Yes.
leads me into how I can contribute to what it is that you're doing in your hometown in Ghana.
Right.
So why don't you explain again to me the center and what's going on right now?
Okay. So like we launched the center in May earlier this year on the 18th, and I've opened it up to the community kids. And my main target or the initial target or age of kids who were supposed to come to my center at the time was from 10 years to about 20, 21 years old. Um, but now I have 10 years, 12-year-olds who are eligible to come, but they have younger siblings. So you have somebody who is 12 years old, but has a 5 years old or a 6 years old sister or brother at home. And mostly the parents are peasant farmers or they sell in the market. Their fathers are either van or bus drivers or taxi drivers. Um, they're just petty traders in town. And so when their parents are out of the house and both kids are back from school, it would be impossible for the 12-year-old to leave his or a younger sibling at home. And so now my center, comes
Everyone.
or it gets overwhelming, but I mean, it is what it is. So we're now focusing more on teaching the kids how to read, phonetics, identify letters in alphabet, because now I have younger kids to take care of. The initial goal was to use my center to introduce kids to coding or things technology, tech, robotics. So pretty much STEM or STEAM programs. That was my initial goal. That was why I wanted to start the after school center. But the reality is that I am having children who come to my center who are 14, 15 years old, who cannot spell the name of their parents, who cannot identify the name of their school in a paragraph. Unless you write the name of the school singled out, they won't be able to recollect this is the name of my school. And so it was quite interesting because when the kids come to my center, I profile them. How old are you? What's the name of your mother? What's the name of your father? Can you spell your parents' name? Write it down. Because there are 4 schools in my town, and the kids in my town go to other schools as well outside of the town. And so when you come, I want to be aware where we are having more kids from.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this profiling, that I realized that these kids I'm about to introduce to coding cannot read or pronounce basic words. So we've had to introduce reading clubs or reading camps. Fortunately for me, I was able to go for a training in Accra that was organized by Ghana Mothers Hope. And so they trained me on how to teach younger kids how to read. I've been a teacher for 9 years in the classroom, contact hours, but I've never taught kids younger than 12 years old.
Okay.
Always been teaching junior high school students. And so these were students who already knew how to read. I didn't have to teach them how to read.
Right.
And so now I find myself in a space where I now have to learn how to teach kids how to read.
More
so now I'm
level.
Yes. And so our focus shifted from teaching IT programs. Unfortunately, also for the IT programs, we've not had a lot of donations in terms of computers, laptops. And so the few we had, we have about 5 to 6 laptops now. One of them is mine, the one I use personally for work. And then the rest 4 is for the kids that were donated from the US and Canada. And
can I interrupt with 2 things? So first of all, from what I remember, if I remember correctly, your stepmom had started a sort of volunteer organization for kids in your area. And so this has basically been your job, your whole adult life, probably before that, right?
Yeah, for the past 12 years.
All for the kids.
I've always been working with since I was in junior high school. So maybe 13, 14 years. Yeah.
Okay. And now the other thing that I wanted to mention is, so you have the computers and laptops, but what you're lacking right now is a stable internet connection for them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So stable connection and adequate laptop. So we have 5 laptops for the kids, but only 2 of them actually work properly. The rest, we always have to do in-person maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have about 30 to 50 kids who come on a regular.
Oh, wow.
4 laptops is not enough. So we've had to pack all the laptops, because then every time I have 10 kids on one laptop, it wasn't it wasn't a productive space with too much time. So we've stopped the IT program, we've stopped graphic designing, we've stopped Microsoft Office and presentations, we've stopped graphic design using Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and CorelDRAW. We've stopped all of that. Now our focus is more on reading, pronunciations, phonetics, arts and craft, music and dance, play and sports. Pretty much. That's what we've been focusing on now. Hoping that maybe next year, the new year will shine bright on us and we get more laptops donated. And then, I know how very interested you are in doing stuff with the kids online and Zoom and stuff. So if we have more laptops and some of the older kids can sit behind laptops and do stuff with you, that would be really great. But at the moment, because we don't have a stable internet and we don't have enough computers, all of that is on hold for now. Mm-hmm. So we focus on what we have.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that, for me, being able to present the type of class that I'm envisioning for kids in general to your kids is a greater goal, right? Because right now I have the base level prototype of what I'm calling a self-therapy journal. So there's a bunch of steps that have to go into it before I can provide the journals for the kids and to start doing some kind of Zoom class every month. And, just as a side note, what that really is about is taking what we're finding out about quantum physics and applying it to our everyday lives to not only empower ourselves, but to keep ourselves healthy so that we don't have to become part of the healthcare system. I mean, I know from being your friend the last year and a half, I have a sort of idea of what it's like to go through the healthcare system on your end. And then, of course, I have extensive experience, not only here in the US, but in Switzerland. So I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it's extremely broken. And the way that we're led to believe about, you know, healthcare in general, about our own bodies, about our own power is incorrect. So, you know, that's my long-term goal, because something I'm focusing on too is doing all of this stuff slowly, right?
Yeah.
Letting it be a flow state as opposed to, oh, I have to get this done. But that being said, in the meantime, what I can provide, right? It's all about doing what you can, where you are, in the time
Yeah.
that you have. So what I can do is start structuring with you the adjusted needs now that you've been operating and
Yeah.
understand the need that you're serving. I can help organize all of the data that you have to create a sort of fundraising schedule.
Okay.
So, like, right, like, what do I have experience in? I have undergraduate degrees in marketing and psychology. I have a master's in library and information science, right? The queen of organization. um, and then I have my own experience with using a GoFundMe.
Right.
So that's right now my goal, to start working with you to get an outline of what it is that we need, and then to figure out the best way to communicate that to people. Because, I mean, the reality of the situation is that, especially with inflation right now in the US, $20 to us in some cases can't buy a full meal. But
No,
$20 in Ghana, 20 US dollars in Ghana can make a huge impact.
it can. Yes. So say $30
Yeah, give us
translate
an idea.
Ghana could pay for like our internet subscription for a full month,
Okay.
and the kids could have meetings and watch tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that. So yes, I kind of
Right.
understand.
And then beyond actual laptops, if people have old phones like iPhones and stuff,
Yeah.
would that be able to help? Because I know myself, I haven't been able to use the computer too much. So
Okay.
I've essentially turned my phone into my computer.
Uh,
Is that an option for people too?
yes. We've had tablets and iPads donated. Even the phone I'm communicating on now was donated to me. So because at the time I was starting the STEM center, my smartphone was pretty broken, so it was impossible to get online. And now starting the after school center, donors who have donated to the center before we launched, at least I thought it would be nice to start making use of social media and be updating donors and sharing stories from our side of the world. So yes, even the phone I'm using was donated. We have iPads donated and tablets donated. So yes, we want the phones, we want iPads.
Right. Yeah. And now I'm thinking that aggregating the donations in the US and then having them shipped is the best way to go about mailing physical stuff to you. Do you have that set up already, or is that something that I could do, like have people send stuff to me so that I can
So
forward it on?
one of the surest ways to get donations to Ghana, especially if it's for a nonprofit, is rather to assemble them in a location. And then when I have a volunteer or a guest, so I do travel, I'm a tour guide and I provide tour guiding services to travelers. Sometimes I advertise my tour packages and people come into Ghana. That's actually the primary way I make money to sustain the after school center in the absence of donations.
Right.
So if I have guests coming from the US or any part of the world, and I know I have donations somewhere, then the guests are able to bring these things, because in the past and from experiences, posting donations to nonprofits in Ghana, they get lost. I know my friend Samantha, who is volunteering with an organization not far from my hometown. Her mom sent her a birthday package last year, and she got it just last week.
Oh my gosh. But she got it. That's probably a big deal. Okay, so yeah, so I
Yeah,
could
so
I could offer that to be a congregating place and then ship it off to whoever's coming to see you next. And, you know, that's another good point, is that I'll try to put the broken links in the bottom of the description for this, because you have a tourism business where people can come and you'll be their tour guide, and then that benefits the center. They could actually go and volunteer there through that same company, right? Or they could use this GoFundMe page, which is hosted by another US volunteer.
Yes.
Okay.
So first volunteer was hosting the GoFundMe for me. He's been a very good friend of mine. He's in Boston, and he donated the money we needed to build the website. And when the subscription expired, he paid for another 1 year, and he's taking it upon himself to be renewing the domain subscription.
Nice.
We're sustainable enough. So yeah, I'm very thankful for Ian for helping with the website and the donation platform. And yes, he's got some of his friends who have donated in the past as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
actually, the center thrives on friends like you and some of my friends like Elizabeth Wolf, Samantha, and Ian, my friend Mackenzie. So, and all of these people are based in Boston largely, and they've been very instrumental in bringing this to this far.
right.
But then it all rode on the benevolence of my partner in Canada. Her name is Blair. She donated the money we needed to rent the after school space.
Okay.
And she was in Ghana for the opening day. So yeah, it was a big day when we opened earlier in May.
Yeah. And
But
then
we've got coming up too, like Christmas camping that I'm planning for the kids.
right, exactly. I was just going to talk about that too. So what I'll be working on with you is trying to communicate the monthly operating costs, so people
Okay.
can get a solid idea of where exactly it is that their money would be going. Also having this idea of how I can support you in getting the message out there more. And then the immediate fundraising that you're doing right now is for a 7 or 8 day camping trip so that the kids can see the city for the first time, the capital city, Accra. Right? Oh, I think you're frozen. I'm going to wait a minute and hope that you come back. And also, this is common, talking to Godsway. Oh. Oh, I can pause. All right. So actually, neither of us have a paid Zoom account, so this is going to end the recording soon. I'll just give an overview of the camping trip. What they need is $1,800 US to bring the kids tent camping for 8 days. And he set up a variety of classes and trips for the kids because most of them have never been out of his village. So they haven't seen the city before, they haven't seen a museum before. So he's set up classes in reading, art, coding. They're even doing a factory tour of a bamboo toilet paper factory. And then the activities are the museums, getting to go to a zoo, kayaking, hiking. So I'm going to link this information in the bottom of the description. And if you feel so moved, I ask you to donate to help the impact that Godsway is making, because he is a very special person, a special friend. And I think it's just amazing what he's doing for his community. So I just donated for Christmas, and I hope that you can too. Thank you.